Hello, Paul Gerrard from Price Accounting Services. In this session, we're going to be talking about tax return deduction labelled D10, cost of managing tax affairs. Okay, this one seems like a pretty simple area of deduction and generally is. What is deductible at this area? Okay, paying your tax agent to prepare and lodge your tax returns, deductible. That's a fairly simple issue. There's a couple of other things though that we sometimes might overlook, particularly self-preparers of returns, and it's an area where your tax advisor is going to have a little further knowledge on this issue. General interest charge. If you've had a tax debt through the year, this is where you claim your general interest charge that you've paid the tax office. Fortunately, tax debts payable to the ATO, if they accrue interest, that specific interest is tax deductible. Unlike if you borrow money from a bank and pay off your tax debt through the bank, that is not tax deductible. Bear in mind the rate that the government charge isn't exactly the most generous tax rate in the interest rate in the world, but it's a specific deduction that is available if you've had a tax debt. Likewise, if the tax office remit the interest, and if you've already claimed the deduction, it would then become assessable. Alternatively, if one offsets the other, the assessable amount might equal the deductible amount, and so there's no true tax outcome. Another cost that falls into this cost of preparing tax return might be related to specific costs relating to administration of your tax affairs. So if you go and buy a logbook, if you need to buy a specific piece of software to account for your rental investment property, etc., that cost may well be deductible at this point here. The other type of cost we see is travel. So if you're travelling to meet and see your tax agent, you can claim a deduction at this point as well. So don't overlook that. If we're finding less and less taxpayers are meeting us face to face now that we've got all the technology for face to face through video. We've got our tax portal and all these sorts of issues we can offer our clients. That's less and less. But if you are travelling to meet with the tax agent, there is a cost in doing so. So those travel costs, including the tolls, might be claimable at this point. What might not be deductible at this point? Okay. If you establish a new company or a new business, you might seek advice specific to that new entity. As an individual, you may find that that cost is not deductible to you at this point here. It might be deductible to that entity, it might be deductible elsewhere. So if you're in that situation, don't just blindly try and add in the cost at this point. It's worth talking to your advisor about getting clarification around how we're going to treat it. If you're one of our clients, we're probably already going to take that cost and apply it and claim it within the new entity rather than to the specific taxpayer. But more and more with these changed rules, we do have the opportunity to charge some of that fee to you individually, in which case then yes, you could pay it and claim it individually. We often weigh that up. For example, husband and wife, at the end of when we do their tax return, we'll often turn around and we might bill the whole of the fee to the higher income earner, and we'll charge for the two returns. Is that permissible? Absolutely. Under tax rules, the individual taxpayer can incur a cost, and we can charge it how we like. We don't necessarily need to split it between each taxpayer. But specific advice might need to be given at times. There are variations, there are exceptions, but just trying to give you some guidance on what may or may not be available. So I hope that helps explain cost of preparing tax, cost of preparing and tending to your tax affairs, and how to complete label D10. So that's it for now, and we look forward to seeing another one of our videos. If you ever need to ask any questions or seek any further guidance, phone or email away. More than happy seeking to engage us, also happy to discuss that with you. And so until we speak again, cheers, bye.